Alright, we're gonna knock out a small project this morning before I attack the 4150. Everything but one part showed up for that. There's one piece that's not gonna be here. It was supposed to be here yesterday, but naturally it missed the damn truck, so now it won't be here till Monday. But it's not a piece that I can't get 99.99% of everything together and then put that on last. But anyhow, first thing I want to do this morning is get the grain truck knocked out, because I finally got my new rims and tires after, I can't remember how long ago I got the rims. 8-9 weeks ago I got the rims, and it's been a fiasco ever since. So yeah. So what I don't really have a whole lot to do to this thing. Most of the maintenance it needed got done before doing wheat, so all I got to do is change the oil, grease it, and grease the front axle and put those new rear tires on. So I'm going to go ahead and get the oil change done, because you can only do so many oil changes before they get redundant, and I will come back to you guys when I go to start doing the rear wheels. Well, I no more than lay down and start getting the oil drained, and I get a phone call, and I gotta go do a quick service call on 285 white, so I'll go do that and we'll be back and I'll get this knocked out. All right, oil change is done. Nothing of note there, but that wasn't the, oh, and I got that 285 taken care of. We're having issues with they're having steering box issues with it, and they were trying to get the steering box out and they couldn't get it out, so I had to go over there and we put a cherry picker on it and whacked the stud a couple times with a hammer, and it popped right out, or popped right loose and came out, and easy peasy lemon squeezy. So anyhow, that's that. Our main concern right here is tires. The 1020s that are on it are getting sketchy. You got this one that just flat out refuses to hold a tube anymore. This one is starting to split. The sidewall's starting to split bad. Actually, I think there's one of them. It might be this one. The sidewalls on them were getting kind of scary, was the big thing. And like that one, this one over here just will not. I don't know if there's a cord loose on the inside, or if it's got a puncture in a sidewall somewhere and it's pinching a tube or what, but this one just, it's always been a problem child, and it will not hold a tube for more than about a year, and then it starts going flat like this again. So it was time, just for lack of headaches and safety and whatnot. So we got these brand new rims, brand new tires. So obviously 1020s, you can still get them. When you find them, they are really salty and probably Chinese. And no matter what you do, they're probably still going to be a bias ply tire. And I think they do make some 1020 tubeless tires, but you couldn't run them tubeless on those rims anyway, because those are lock ring rims, so you can't even run a tubeless tire on there. So even if you put new 1020 radials on it, if you could find them, you're still running tube tires. And that's if they make a tube that's compatible with a radial tire, or with a 1020 radial. So you're going down a whole mess of shit, and then you still have you don't really gain anything by just putting the new 1020s on it, unless that's your only option. Now, the, I guess, struggle with this, if you want to call it that, is this GM bolt pattern. These are a Bud wheel, with an exception. So a modern semi, like regular standard Bud rim that you'd see on an regular semi truck this day and age is a 11 1/4 10-hole bolt circle on an 8 3/4 Pilot. These rims are a 8 3/4 bolt circle on a 6 1/4 inch Pilot. Near as I've been able to gather, this is a specific to GM thing. They used the same bolt pattern from like the 40s all the way up into the early to mid 80s when they finally took on the medium duty trucks, when they finally started using a standard 10 bolt Bud pattern rim, so that you don't run into this issue. So you can't just stick a semi rim on this, because that would make it too easy, because you can pick those up for like $160 a rim brand new and not a problem. The other problem you run into is, and even with these 10-120s it's a little bit of an issue, technically these rims are made for 920s. We put the 10-120s on it because if you think finding 10-120s is hard, you should try finding decent 920s. So they just barely clear each other when you're static, and when you're loaded, obviously you can tell by the shiny sidewalls, they do rub a little bit. They're not hard on each other, but they do touch. And you're really close to your spring pack here. So you also can't go up to an 11R 22.5 because there's just physically not enough room under the truck for the wider dual spread. Because obviously an 11R 22.5, you're gonna have what, like 3-ish, 4 inches in between the tires, and the tires are gonna be, well, about this wide, but the whole dual stack is gonna be wider, so you're gonna be closer to the spring, if not touching, and you're gonna be outside of your frame or outside of your bed rail. So an 11R won't really fit under the truck anyhow. So there is one place. Oh, someone's pulling in the driveway. Hold on. Never mind, it was just a mail lady. Anyhow, there is one place. It's a place called Wheels Now in, I can't remember the town, but they're in Wisconsin. They got a website. They have custom 22.5 Chevy Bud pattern conversion rims made to put modern 22.5s on that truck. That's these guys here, to the tune of $375 a rim. But that gets you to a standard tire size for something that you can get. However, they're only a 6 1/4 inch wide rim, so you can't go up to an 11R. You're pretty much held to a 10R, which limits your tire options. And when I was initially looking at going down this road, I could not find a 10R that wasn't Chinese. I finally called. We got a big tire wholesaler down here in South. They got multiple locations, but their closest one is here in South Bend. That they deal very heavily in truck tires, semi-truck tires. Like, they got a whole warehouse. I went back in their warehouse when I went to pick these things up, and my God, the mountains of semi-tires. Every tread pattern, drive, steers, every combination of size, so many truck tires. But talking to him, I actually found out that a 10R 22.5, go figure, is a common school bus tire. And because of that, Firestone makes them. However, he said, unless the tire shop you're dealing with deals in school bus stuff, not too many places know how to get them, because you basically have to deal directly with Firestone to find them. I did find a Firestone 10R, this tire, I did find it listed on simpletire.com, but at the time I found it, it said back order out of stock. So, and actually Simple Tire was more expensive to get them than what I got them mounted, balanced, and everything, just going down here to South Bend. So, I was able to get, and it says made in USA, they're USA made Firestone 10R 22.5s. Basically, they're not, Firestone doesn't call them school bus tire, but the salesman down there, actually I was dealing with the general manager, and he really knew, like, it's weird to find somebody that knows their shit as good as that guy knew his shit, because he was just rattling stuff off like he wasn't even thinking about it. And luckily, the reason that they stock these tires down there is they have a contract with South Bend School Corporation, and they take care of all their school buses as far as tires and alignments and stuff like that. So he actually had almost 30 of these tires in stock when I called him. And they are an off-road snow tire, so they're a fairly aggressive open lug pattern. But they're not so aggressive that they're going to hum. They're radials, so they're going to ride nice. They're tubeless, so you're not screwing with tubes. This whole deal is just, it's going to make life so much better. And it was, the tires actually weren't that bad. Mounted and balanced for the tires was $2,100 for all four of them. And then by the time I got the rims and everything here, it was about $1,700. So, I mean, yes, it was expensive, but it's going to make life so much nicer. And chances are, for the 1,000 miles a year that truck might see, usually it's less. This might very well be the last set of tires I ever have to put on it. But if not, at least I know what's the size I can get. And the radials, and they're tubeless, which is going to be so nice not having to screw with tubes anymore. So, that's the backstory on this. I got the 4-drive for now because those are the ones that were scaring us the most. And then this winter, I'll get 2 more rims, and Firestone makes a matching carcass with a steer pattern on it. So I can get matching steer tires for the front, and then she'll have 6 new tires. And like I say, I'll probably never have to worry about it again for what I do with the truck. It'll probably be the next person's problem, but at least I set them up for success. And for anybody that's interested, they are Firestone, where's the model number? 10R 22.5, FD 636 or 663s. They do offer this 10R 22.5 in a couple different drive tread patterns, and this is the most aggressive. But they're actually, I was worried they were going to be a short sidewall, which they're not. So they're actually just a touch taller than, they probably are as tall as those when they were new. Those are probably about, the tread on those is probably about half worn. So they're still basically the full height of a 1020. So that's nice, and they're just going to be, and I never did measure, because about 8 over the tread. I'm guessing these are probably about 9. Oh, Shelly. Yeah, they're about 9.5, so they're a touch narrower, but not by much. Alright, I lost my train of thought, so we're just gonna keep going here. It is worth noting that GM did make a factory 22.5 rim with this bolt pattern. However, they are very rare, And when you do find them, you will pay damn near more than what I paid for those brand new rims, because the guys that are restoring these trucks and want to keep the original look will pay out the nose for them. But they're basically that same, they're a 6.5 by 22.5, that basically that rim, but they have this center in them so that they look correct for the truck. Obviously those rims, and we'll get one side by side here in a minute, the centers in those are close enough, but very obviously different. Rims are a little bit hard to work with because the centers in them are spun out of 1/2-inch plate, so they're really obnoxiously heavy. And I'll show you that in a minute, because I mean, you ain't gonna screw them rims up, because like they're just way overbuilt. Tire iron's not working, it just wants to roll. Make sure get my hand holes lined up right. Now the other goofy thing about this GM pattern is normally in a modern semi-rim you have two different pilot types. You have hub pilot, which pilots on the hub, or you have stud pilot. And normally stud pilot uses a regular style lug nut. This is actually both. The holes are on size to the wheel stud, so it's stud pilot, and it's got a hub pilot. So it's, like I say, GM really had their own better idea going on with this whole axle wheel system. I was a little worried, but those look pretty darn good on there, I must say. But let's we'll roll one of these up here real quick. This one was starting to get really sketchy in the tread. I'm sure there's some guys that run these things without even blinking an eye, but I do not have that kind of luck, so see if I can. But if you look, you can notice how much bigger the flat is in the center of that rim versus this one is basically not a whole lot bigger than the bolt pattern, and then it starts into the profile of the center. And I know damn well the reason that that rim is like that is because I bet the rim company uses that same center for more than one rim. So they put that big flat in there so that they can use one center blank for multiple bolt patterns and hub sizes and blah, 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 blah. So it makes production simpler. So it might look, well, I've seen pictures of them on trucks and it does look a little, I'm sure it'll take some getting used to on the front, but they don't really look that bad. So but you can get to the valve stems. We're definitely not rubbing anymore. I like them. This is gonna be so nice not having to, because I mean, you got them old things, and oh yeah, right here, this one's doing it real bad around the bead. When you look at them tires and you're like, okay, they might run 10 more miles loaded, they might run 10,000 more miles loaded, but do you really want to take the chance? Because they'll never blow when you're unloaded coming back to a field. They'll blow with a full 300 bushel of grain on there, and they'll do it in some stupid place like on a hill or a blind curve or something, and then you're screwed. And being bias ply, when they blow, they just tend to explode into multiple pieces. So then you're tearing up parts of the truck with flying chunks of rubber, and it just, this is just, it's expensive, but this is just overall just so much nicer. So anyhow, well, I'll get the other two on there, and this thing will be ready to go. All right, all four of them are on. Have to haul a load in with it and come back and double check them wheel studs. But other than that, like I say, this winter the plan is to put steers on it so that it'll have, because these things, the carcass isn't bad, but the tread's scuffing, and when I put this new steers on it, I'm going to take it in and have an alignment check done on it, just to make sure everything's kosher. Just because this tire's wearing a little funny. You jack it up and nothing's loose, so, but, and then this one's wearing, where on that side, this tread and this tread are wearing, on this one, it's this one and this one, so. Could be the camber's off, which I don't know if there's anybody around here that'll bend axles or not, just to set camber. But at least I can have have a truck place thrown on an alignment rack and say I put in the effort. But that can wait. So, and I don't know what to. Oh, I was going to show you too. See, the centers in these rims are, that's about 1/4 inch plate, and like I say, these are, I should have showed you before I put them on. These are, well, you can see right there, 1/2 inch. Like, you are not, I don't know, like you can put them on a tank transporter or something, like, you're not gonna hurt them rims. So, but now I gotta figure out what I want to do with these. I don't want them sitting around, I want them gone. I'm half tempted to just have Shelly throw them on Facebook. Just, I don't like Facebook, I don't have it, but she's got it, so I'll just exploit her. That's how I've been selling straw. But I don't know, I'd think I'd be able to get 200 bucks out of them, all 4 of them, because they're not great. But if you were looking to have something to put on a truck that you were, I wouldn't necessarily say a show truck, but something that you're not going to use, but something that you need tires on, they're not bad tires if you're not planning on loading the crap out of them. I just wouldn't put them on a truck that you're going to use. So I don't know, maybe throw them up for 200 bucks, and if somebody offers me 100 for all 4, we'll let them go, because I don't want them around. And I've got new rims, I don't want the rims, so. But I'll get these out of here real quick, and we'll go take it for a quick test drive and see if it rides any different. You going for a ride? Get in the truck. Alright. Really need to get a different mount. I haven't necessarily liked this one from day one. I've just been dealing with it because this is the one I had, but it's kind of clunky. Tell you it rides different, and now it doesn't hum anymore because those little Coopers hummed real bad. Oh, I like these tires. I like these tires a lot. I guess we'll just have to see how they handle coming in and out of fields, but well, they definitely ride a lot better. I mean, obviously it still rides like a lumber wagon. It's a 2-ton truck, but when you hit a bump, you don't get the bone-shattering jar like you do with them bias plies. So, just got to get the steers on it, which she's going to look really good with brand new tires all the way around. So, and if the farm doesn't show a profit this year, it's because of the $15,000 that I've spent on tires so far. Because between the 4150, this, my pickup, and a few other small implement tires that I've had to buy, that's basically where I'm at on tire expenditure for this year, $15,000. And just to put that into perspective, last year my entire maintenance expenditure, that's everything I did putting the planter together, some of the 1950T overhaul went on last year, general maintenance. I can't remember what I can't remember if I threw any of the barn stuff on. Well, I guess that would have went on this year. But anyway, everything I did last year was 19,000 and some change. So this year I've spent almost that just in tires. Luckily, tires are not an every year thing. I should be set on tires for a while. Although I still got to do, the 66 needs new drives, and I'd like to get some new Firestone deep treads on the back of the T here at some point, but we might take a year off on big tires next year and just run what we got for a while. But anyway, I gotta switch gears and start working on 4150. So that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.